Hello everyone. My topic is recruitment and selection, part 3. Myself, Assistant Professor Tapasya Patil, and Wilfred's College of Arts, Commerce, Science, Panvel. Now we'll start with the difference between recruitment and selection. Yes. Now, what is the difference between recruitment and selection? What is distinction between these two? We'll start first with the recruitment meaning. It is an activity of establishing contact between employers and applicants. Yes, it is basically and finding and hiring the employees, screening the resumes through the job portals or any other methods is the recruitment. Just we are screening the employees and we are uh, calling them for the interview is the recruitment process. Now, selection. It is the process of picking up more competent and suitable employees. Yes, it is the selecting the employees, picking up and hiring the employees for the organization. It is the selection objective. It encourages large number of candidates for the job. Yes. Now, what is the objective of recruitment? It encourages the large number of people. Means large number of people, large number of candidates could apply for that particular job is the recruitment. And selection, it attempts at rejecting unsuitable candidates. Yes, if 100 people have been applied for the job, through that, if the vacant positions are 5, so we could hire only that 5 people, rest of the 95 people are being rejected for that process. It The recruitment is very simple process and selection is somewhat complicated process. Why? Because in the selection process we have to go through the various rounds and various tests. So this is somewhat a complicated process because the right candidate should be placed at the right time for the right job at the right place. So this is somewhat tough. Hurdles in the recruitment. The candidate have not to cross over many hurdles, and in the selection, many hurdles have to be crossed. See, in the recruitment, candidates are not to cross any hurdles. You have just to go through the process of recruitment, and in the selection, you have to cross some hurdles. Now, hurdles means the various rounds of interview and the various tests like aptitude test, medical test, ability test, um graphology test. These are some kind of tests through which the candidate have to move with. Economy, it is economical method. Recruitment is an economical method and selection, it is an expensive method approach. It is a positive approach and selection is a negative approach. Yes, recruitment, we are asking for the employees to come and give their interview is somewhat a positive thing. But when we are selecting the employees and rest of the people are being rejected, those who are not competent that much or unpotential candidate are being rejected, so they get nervous through that. So it is somewhat a negative approach. Next, we'll move with the strategic recruiting decisions. Now, what are the strategic recruiting decisions? HR planning decisions. In that, how many employees needed? Yes, how many employees we needed in the HR planning we do. We need to plan this. How many employees are being needed? When it is needed, that is been decided. Cases needed and special qualifications of the employees. These things have been properly done in the HR planning and decisions have need to be take on this. Next, strategic recruiting decisions. Where to recruit? Yes, internal or external. We have to choose the method of recruitment as an internal or external. That should be decided first, that where to recruit, who to recruit, flexible staffing options, who to recruit, and nature of job requirements. Next, decision on recruiting means sources or methods. Now, what is the recruitment sources? Advertising choices, recruiting activities. Yes, advertising choices and recruiting activities are one of the strategy we could do for the recruitment sources. Next, strategic recruiting decisions are flexible staffing and their descriptions. Now, flexible staffing, regular employment. Regular employment consists of continuous, predictable, and scheduled employment of 6 months duration or longer. Yes, regular employment is what? It is continuous, it is predictable, and it is scheduled employment of 6 months. Regular employment may be full time or part time. Now, full time or part time. Full time employment consists of regular schedule of 37.5 hours per week. It is the full time. And the part time employment consists of regular schedule less than 37.5 hours per week. Now, independent contractors perform specific services on the contract basis used in the number of areas, including building maintenance, security, advertising, public relations. Yes, they perform the specific services on the contract basis. They are not permanent. They do the job in the organization on the contract basis through the contractors. Now, professional employer, organization, and employee leasing. An employer signs an agreement with the employee leasing company, after which the existing staff is hired by the leasing firm and leased back to the company. See, the employer signs an agreement with the employer signs an agreement with the employee. Yes, with the leasing company. After which the existing staff is hired by leasing the firm and leased back to the company. Next, temporary workers. This is based on try before you buy approach. These are the temporary workers. Yes, you need to try before you buy. Employers who use temporary employees can hire their own temporary staff or use agencies supplying temporary workers. Such firms supply workers on the rate per day basis or per week basis. Yes, these temporary workers are not permanent in the organization. Yes, they could be hired on the rate per day basis or per week basis. Yes, means the daily work of the type of wages we could provide to them. Seasonal employees. Seasonal employees are hired to work on the part-time basis by companies that need extra help during a particular season, typically the Christmas season or crop harvesting. Yes, these are the seasonal employees for the particular season only, for the particular time only, duration. They need the employees for the organization. Like the example they have given of the Christmas season and crops harvesting. Next, barriers in the selection. Yes. Now, what are the problems, barriers, resistances can come in the selection are first is perception. Our inability to understand other accurately is probably the most fundamental barrier. Yes. If you can't understand the front person very accurately, we are unable to understand the person accurately. So this could be barrier to selecting the right candidate. Selection demands an individual or a group to assess and compare the respective competencies of other with the aim of choosing the right persons for the job. Next, fairness. Fairness in the selection requires that no individual should be discriminated. Yes, this is very important point, that discrimination should not be done while selecting the candidates through the references or all. The reasons is with the proper qualifications and the proper experience only the mm, employee should be candidate, and the reasons should not be the religion, region, gender, or the race. This should not be the reason for doing the discrimination at all. Validity. Validity, as explained earlier, is the test that helps predict the job performance of an incumbent. A test that has been validated can differentiate between employees who can perform well and those who will not. Yes, validity is explained as the test taken which could help to predict the job performance of incumbent. How he performed the well in his job, we could recognize that very properly. Is the validity. Reliability. A reliable method is one of which will produce consistent results when repeated in similar situations. A reliable method is the one which produces results, consistent result we get when repeated in similar situations. Pressure. Pressure is brought on the selectors by politicians, bureaucrats, relatives, friends, and peers to select particular candidate. Yes, this could also be the barrier for selecting the right candidate. Why? Because the pressure from the politicians, like for placing their people, their family members into the organizations, or from the relatives and friends, this could be an important barrier. So candidates selected because of compulsions are obviously not the right ones. So right candidates are never placed by doing this kind of pressures on these selectors. Next, the important factors, the process of selection are given below. What are the important factors affecting the process? The process of selection are given below. First, profile matching factor. The most important factor that affects an selection is profile of the candidate and job specification. The profile of the candidate should match the job description. Next, organizational and social environmental factor. The organizational and social factors also influence the selection process. Yes, candidate who are able to efficient, who are able and efficient may fail to work in the type of organization located in the place which is not conducive to work. Yes, wherever he's been working, that place is not. If the place is not conducive, not proper to work, he would fail to do an proper work in the organization, though he is very efficient and very capable person. Successive hurdles. There are a number of hurdles in the process of selection which a candidate has to pass through successfully to get an appointment. These hurdles may be interview, test, group discussion, reference inquiry. Yes, these are somewhat hurdles with which the interview surely has to pass through for getting selected. Thank you.